This video is for skill review number 1, graphing linear equations and inequalities. We'll start with equations. All the equations we'll be giving you are in slope-intercept form. When we graph in slope-intercept form, we start on the y-intercept, which is the vertical line, or as Miss Bria says, we start on the flagpole. So looking at number 1, we see that our y-intercept value is at 0, 2. From there, we use our slope value. Slope is rise over run. Now remember, when we're dealing with slope specifically with fractions, looking at this negative 3/4, I always interpret negative 3/4 as negative 3 over positive 4. It's not negative in both, it's just negative in the numerator or the denominator. I choose to always do it in the numerator, which makes us think about this as down 3 and to the right 4. So going back, we're going to go down 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we put our dot, and we have our line. For number 2, again, starting at the y-intercept, here we're at 0, negative 2. Looking at our slope value, remember we can make any whole number a fraction by putting it over 1, meaning our slope is up 3 and over 1. Up 3 and over 1. Connecting the dots gives us our line. Now, looking at linear inequalities, linear inequalities follows the same idea as graphing before, as I say, just like slope-intercept form. However, we have to worry about the types of lines we are looking at and whether we're shading above or below. So, a little quick reminder for you, we have solid lines whenever I have inequalities with or equal to's, but I have dotted lines if I have inequalities that do not have or equal to. So, taking a look at questions number 6 and 7, just looking at the line type, we'll have a dotted line or dashed line on number 6 and a solid line on number 7. So we'll go ahead and graph the y-intercept of both at 0, negative 3 and 0, negative 1. And from there, we'll go ahead and do the slope next. A slope of up 2 over 5 and a slope of up 1 over 2. Now, in terms of our line types, we said we're going to have a dotted line. So we will have a dotted line on number 6, but a solid line on number 7. Now, the other part of doing inequalities is just like when we did inequalities back in Algebra 1, if I said x is greater than 3, we had solid versus open dots, right? Solid versus open dots. But we also did some type of shading, either towards positive infinity or towards negative infinity. Well, it's the same idea here. We're either going to be shading above or below the graph. So I shade above the graph whenever I have something that's greater than or equal to or just greater than, and we shade below when it's any type of less than or equal to or less. So on number 6 then, we see that we have greater than, so we are going to shade above the graph. So we will shade above the graph. And for number 7, we see y is less than or equal to, so we will shade below the graph. And there you have it.